Armada Book 3 Chapter 1 The Festival Part 2. Andrew, we will be within beaming range of planet Los Angeles in an hour. Olive said. Where's Vicky? She's on Earth working on the training project. I would just play with Adam then. Andrew, do you want me to work as an android or not? Actually, Olive, I like just the way you are right now. We've been like this for a long time now and we're doing fine together. An android would be useful, I guess, but in very few cases. Adam is on Earth with Vicky's daughter Tammy and her cousins in their old house. His Mac nanny is with them as usual. I guess I should be getting dressed to the occasion. What date is it there now? It's July 16th. Vicky is in Seattle, temperature is 66 degrees. Where do you want to go? Mother first. What would she be doing in Seattle? Andrew asked himself. She is attending a gaming conference. She is with Santiago Sasaki, one of Eric's team members that developed the virtual world with the Norsets. Did you just read my mind, Olive? Andrew asked. Andrew got dressed and after an hour, Olive, can you show me where Vicky is? Olive produced a hologram of the conference floor. See Andrew, this is Vicky with Santiago. They're walking around talking to people in the booths. I will beam you to the maintenance room here, nearest to them. Andrew found himself in a dark room. He flicked the switch and it was a small maintenance equipment room. He opened the door and got out quickly and started to walk around. Vicky saw him first. Andrew, over here. She shouted. People looked around who could have shouted so rudely. Andrew went over and embraced Vicky. He kissed her on the lips and hugged her again. Andrew, this is Santiago. I believe you know him. Yes, Santiago, where's your Norset sidekick? His name was Santos, right? I am so honored to meet you again, sir. Santos is in the space station right now. Sir. What's up with this conference, Vicky? As you know, Santiago and his Norset hackers created this virtual world for the criminals to think is real. Now they created a prototype of a world which appears like a game but is actually a training ground for future drone operators or virtual operatives. Their game is actually very successful, making Santiago and the banking cooperatives rich. The only thing is that they cannot show how they did it. And they created virtual holographic headpieces and pads to simulate a real-world feel to the game. I am interested in trying to connect the talents here with what Santiago's group are doing and what our science in planet Los Angeles can be used for. I know, you're not interested. So how are the teams doing? You're right, I'm not interested. Let me just hang around and you do your work. The teams are doing fine. They are all on rotating R and R. Wait, Santiago, I think you can help with something. Anything for you, sir. Andrew described the Android project and the contest they intend to develop for the festival. What I need from you is that we need to connect our ships to these androids, or maybe you have some other or better ideas. So Ellie is the boss. You know, Ellie recruited me and absolutely terrorized me, really. But if Ellie agrees to let me in, I will work for you. I will bring my team on board. I may have some ideas for us to win the contest. Andrew nodded and looked at the booth and game displays. Actually, the games have relevance to your Armada, sir. We would be able to identify the best drone operators on Earth, and if ever we need them, we know who they are by rank. Santiago added. Andrew thought for a while. So this game ranks who the best players are. I could imagine the game would be harder as they go higher in rank. Andrew said. Exactly, sir, like training pilots, but the gamers don't know they are doing the real thing. The advanced ones have access to some of the strategies the Norsets developed and are free to develop new ones or improve on the existing plays we have. I think it's good. Keep it up. Let me show you something. Vicky said and held Andrew's left arm with both hands and pulled him around several booths until they came to a large booth with 4 large TV crystal screens. Santiago walked briskly just behind them. There were 4 college-age girls wearing the same costumes as the people in the TV screens. What do you think? Vicky asked. Andrew stood there and tried to make sense out of Vicky's question. He then noticed his old ship, the one he gave to Vicky. That's the ship I gave you, Andrew said. He watched for a while and heard their conversation. They were talking about the slanders, Andrew told Vicky. Vicky nudged Andrew. He noticed a female dressed in an Inky uniform and another one dressed in a GX1 uniform walking at the back room of the booth. One of them said, "Hello, we'll be with you in a minute." Then a tall woman with ash blonde hair, probably in her late 40s, stood beside them and looked at the screen for a few minutes. The book is as good as the TV series. Normally a book is always better than the TV series, but the series makes the book much more alive and it's almost looking at the real thing. The book was written like a stage play, meant to be read out or spoken as in an audio format, and the TV provided the visuals, giving it more punch. She said, "Hello. I'm Andrew and this is my wife Vicky." Hi Andrew, Vicky, my name is Sandy Burton and I'm a sci-fi writer and an officer of a Sci-Fi Writers Association. The reviews were not good. Vicky said. Sandy countered, what do they know? Often reviewers have self-interests or agendas of their own. They want to promote another sci-fi series so they criticize the other series, drawing attention to them and their series. They want some favors, they criticize so they get favors. It could be anything. We have tried to invite the writers of this show to join our association and they begged off. We don't even know who they are. We tried to talk to the producers, directors or even ad agency and we can't get hold of any of them. That is so strange for an outfit trying to sell something. Maybe, they're not selling anything. Andrew said. Look at this episode. It's so neatly made as if it was directed by a famous director, more like a Todd Burns film to me. But we all know Todd Burns is 89 years old and sick. Look at the setting, it's like you're there in an alien place and the ship is so normal and not your regular spaceship ship. The holographic screens are unique. Then you see the angles and camera positioning and you realize this is definitely a Todd Burns film. I thought there were only 4 episodes that was shown. Vicky asked. Sandy explained, the book has 20 episodes and the second book is coming out based on the blog by the producers. It does look so real. But what if it was really real? Andrew asked. That's exactly what the producers want to say, that this is all real. I even think that the reason why they are always incommunicado is because they want the audience to feel like there is something odd about it all and maybe the thing is real. She looked at the 4 girls coming near them dressed in the uniforms of the people on the series. It looks so real. The story is good, I guess. Andrew said. Hello, my name is Zopia, I'm an Inky from the Treadle Galaxy. How do you find the series so far? Would you like to have some fruit juice from the Bwofeng Galaxy? This is really good for you. She poured some juice out of a glass dispenser into 2 transparent plastic cups. She handed one to Sandy and one to Vicky. Then she poured onto 2 cups again and gave them to Andrew and Santiago. Sandy looked at her, thank you. After taking a sip, this is really good. Tastes like orange and pineapple but it's colored blue. Yes it does. After a while you'll feel stronger and more alive. Zopia said. I like this juice. Vicky said. Do you know the writers or producers of this series? Are they going to show up in this booth anytime soon? Sandy asked. They're all here in this brochure. No, I don't think any of them would be here anytime soon. Zopia said. Okay, here are some of my business cards, can you give these to the writers or producers please? Please tell them to call me. Any of them. Zopia got the cards and, I would be happy to as soon as they return off-world. Thank you. She gave her empty cup to Zopia, turned around and left. As soon as she left, Ari and Rankil walked in. Tia Vicky, Uncle Andrew. Ari greeted them, she immediately came over then she kissed and embraced her. Then she hugged and kissed Andrew as well. Vicky greeted, Hi Ari, Rankil, what brings you here? Oh, we are part of the project and I am working with promotions. I am also helping with Layla's wedding by taking care of the flowers and dress flowers from Earth. You know how she is, she loves flowers. She's so fascinated with Earth flowers. Rankil explained, the girls here in the booth are on their 2nd year in the university while Ari is graduating in less than a year's time so she is their senior officer. Andrew asked, so you're graduating in less than a year. Where will you be assigned? Actually Uncle Andrew, after graduation we have to have a 2-year ship deployment in General Cook's Armada. He divided the sphere within a 300 mly radius around the Earth into 4 quadrants and assigned ships per quadrant. We deploy in one quadrant and after 6 months deploy in the other ships in the other quadrant. That sounds so exciting. Vicky said. Ari countered, not really. We want to be assigned with Uncle Andrew's ships. But it could get dangerous. I think it's best that you stay with Alan for 2 years, learn the ropes before even thinking about joining me. Besides, it's not like Alan's job is a walk in the park. Whenever a ship leaves, there is always danger. People can get killed for whatever reason. And 300 mly is a lot of light years. There could be billions of galaxies that you can discover in one quadrant alone. Andrew looked at her. I guess you're right. There is always danger and people can get killed. Ari said. I heard Kilmill's ship got blown up when you were in it. It's a good thing we have that prime directive in place. Vicky said. What prime directive? Andrew asked. Rankil explained, Andrew, you should know. It's a directive for all your ship AIs to immediately beam you or their wards out to a safe zone if the condition is compromised that may result in death. It was a result of the personnel kidnapping. They could have all died. So the directive was drawn up by Harold and Eric and all ships follow it. Even the other species adopted it in all their ship AIs. Andrew noticed the girls suddenly bunched up and talk among themselves. Ari asked, "What's up, girls?" "Sir, is he the general man and his wife Vicky?" Zopia asked Ari. "Yes, you should know them." Ari said. "Hello girls, I'm Vicky, this is Andrew and Sebastian." The girls suddenly embraced Andrew two at a time and tried to shake his hands, both hands. One of them started taking pictures. "Sir, we did not know how you looked. We just read about you and your team," one of the girls said. Then the girls introduced themselves one by one. "Nice to meet all of you. I guess it was good not to have our pictures out in the open. It's better that way," Andrew said. Sebastian chimed in, "Don't I get a hug too?" Vicky and Ari smiled. "Ari, I understand you'll be an officer when you get out," Vicky said. "Yes, second lieutenant when we graduate the 5-year course including the first-year deployment and first lieutenant when we're done with the second-year deployment. Then we choose our areas of expertise. I would choose intergalaxy telecommunications. So I would probably be working with your science teams and the Norsets." "That is so neat. You girls have the whole world ahead of you," Andrew said. Vicky added, "More like the whole universe. My goal is to be a ship doctor and take care of any kind of sick alien or human," Zopia said. Another girl said, "My dad works as ship officer so I want to be a ship commander." An Asian girl stepped up and said, "I'm Dina and I want to work with robotics and androids." Andrew asked, "So how does people see your booth, Ari?" "We make it appear everything is real short of showing the actual technology. We explain to them that we're students from planet Los Angeles. We tell them about our lives. Since it's true anyway, we don't have a problem telling it. But they think it's all make-believe and move on." Zopia added, "But if we tell hard enough they might believe for a second, maybe 2 seconds. In the end, they think we are promoting a movie or several books." Ari explained, "Once people from the sci-fi convention came over and asked too many questions. Some of them were real scientists, physicists, and astronomers themselves. We tried our best to explain the way we travel, theories on interplanetary shifts, plasma weapons, time warping and even advanced fusion and propulsion, and they would say, 'That's very good, but it's not possible.' They would be so snooty and condescending sometimes because we're a bunch of college girls. Like Zopia here was terribly hurt, but it's our job so we smile our best to bring to them our stories. I get that all the time. So girls, keep your head high and remember your job came straight from the president," Vicky said. "You know you guys can help me promote the game we developed along the stories as well. All I have are a bunch of male students you probably know," Sebastian said. "I know some of them. 2 were in the same year I am," Ari said. Zopia added, "I understand that your booth should have been beside us because we were selling the same product. But Maria wanted to target a different crowd and I guess she's right. People will relate your game with our booth anyway. We will be showing the same things in the festival 2 weeks from now. You guys will be there, right?" Ari asked. Andrew answered, "Of course we will. We created an android contest. Sebastian here I hope will join my team to fight the other teams." "This is another of your bright ideas, I presume?" Vicky asked. "No, as I said, it was Rogers." The Asian girl Dina stepped in front of Andrew and, "Can I join your team? I am very good with design and movement programming and analysis." "Sure, get hold of Sebastian here." Dina approached Sebastian and gave him a hug. Sebastian struggled a bit from the embrace and, "I believe your hold and programming of my movement is way above par." The girls laughed at him. "Andrew, we need to go, it's Adam's feeding time." "Ari, where can we beam out?" "We have a small booth at the back just for beaming in and out." "I'll stay here and convince these girls to promote our game," Sebastian said. Vicky and Andrew beamed to Vicky's house. Andrew has been used to seeing his son as a hologram. He hesitated to pick him up. After a split second he realized his son is not a hologram and it's okay to pick him up. So while Vicky fed him, Andrew was beside them holding the child in various areas of his body. When Adam fell asleep, Vicky laid him on his bed. "Be quiet, Andrew, he'll sleep for 2 to 2.5 hours then wake up." They stepped out of the room. "When he wakes up, he'll expect me and you to play with him." "Does he still know me?" "Of course. I had Tammy or Nanny Betsy or whoever wants to play for a few minutes to use the chameleon device to appear as you and they play with him. So he thinks you're playing with him. I guess that's better than other people playing with him. But I know they're not you, so I miss you still." Andrew kissed her and said, "Thank you, I missed you too. Usually I try to sleep so I have the energy to play with him. But since you're here, I'll simply sleep. I suggest you sleep as well. You'll need it. I guess sleeping is better. Believe me, my love." 9 days later, the day after the wedding, Vicky was reading the invitation, a human from the planet Earth with residence at planet Los Angeles and Layla Abadis from planet of Recan. See, Tony and Layla's was the first interplanetary romance that turned permanent into the first interplanetary wedding. Vicky told Andrew, who was standing beside her holding Adam. I thought we were the first. No, we were the first to wed in space with intergalactic guests. Tony and Layla were the first to wed that came from 2 different planets with even more intergalactic guest species. And Adam is the first baby to be born in space, in a spaceship. He had every right to brag about his son, he thought. On the whole, I think it was a very solemn wedding, not rowdy, an absolutely formal solemn occasion. The only thing was that while it was long, it was over in a second. And of course that power glitch. It was so funny that her wedding was saved by her dad's invention that Tony insisted to Layla to bring. And we did not even get drunk and talk about intergalactic issues. You can expect them to be at the door any moment now. There was a knock on the bedroom door. Olive, is that you? Andrew shouted. Yes, it is me, Andrew. People will be arriving at your backyard in 10 minutes. Vicky gets up and opens the door. Hi Olive, how do you find your new body? Olive beams into the room even if she can just walk 3 steps. I actually like it very much. I can hold things and I still can beam out and be cloaked. And very pretty. My compliments to my husband for choosing you. While I do not feel being either a woman or man, I will thank you and will compliment Andrew as well. And you can hold Adam. Here, you can take care of him forever. If I may be frank, Andrew, I feel I have more obligation to take care of him than of you because he was born in my care. Not that I feel jealous, Olive, but I completely understand you and thank you for feeling that way for Adam. The reality is my ship is telling me that she cares more for my son than the captain because he was born inside her. Is there something strange to that? Vicky did not even mind Andrew and looks at Olive. So Olive, your skin looks so real. You even have very small hairs on your skin. She leans over and feels the skin on her arms, then she holds her arms trying to feel it more, moving Olive's arm towards the light. It even has the proper warmness, not cold as any inanimate object. You even have fingerprints. That's Santos and Santiago's idea. Those 2 are perfectionists in their work. Like artists. They even had my communications device lodged as a heart inside my chest. Originally it was almost a football big, but they worked on it to reduce it to the size of a ping-pong ball. It can only be beamed in by the owner of the comm device, which is me, and it floats inside a slightly bigger sphere securing it. Then all the body does is follow my commands. It turned out that the energy I spend appearing as and operating a hologram is higher than operating this solid body. This is mainly because this body has its own power source. How strong is your body? Andrew asked. We used the ship hull material for the bones, so under man-made tensile pressure it would be virtually impossible to destroy it, unless you use a plasma weapon. I can be as strong as the metal is on my body and as fast as I can command it to move, which is very fast. The surrounding tissue is made from a lightweight material, soft as human tissue but hard to alter the form once it sets on the frame. It was Ellie's idea to use the material the Norsets came out with 12,501 years ago. I weigh only 425 pounds and my power packs are scattered all over my body, which will enable this body to last more than 2,000 years. So are we going to win the contest next week? Shouldn't you be practicing some moves? Andrew asked. The beauty of their design is that they did not put any intelligence on the body. All movements and decisions on how to move come from that tiny ball floating inside my chest. I have information on billions of possible movement and movement combinations, and I can make my body do them as I see fit depending on the situation. So mid-game you can actually switch bodies if the body is not optimal or has been damaged? Andrew asked. Yes, almost instantaneously. When the team agreed to the final design after thousands of tests, and my agreement, they had 1,000 units of me created. They will be finished creating them in 2 days. I think I hear them already. Vicky said.